Good morning, friends and dear students. Let us begin discussing the Unit 4, which is also comprised of three parts. Part A, dyes, Part B, drugs, and Part C, pesticide. In your everyday life, you might have come across these terminologies like dyes, drugs, and pesticides. Of course, these are the chemical substances. The pesticide is these are the chemical substances which used to kill pest, and the second one is drugs. It is a chemical substance which use in a very small concentration in the form of the tablet or the syrup to restore the well-beingness, to restore the state of comfort or the relieve the state of discomfort, the chemical. So let us we go ahead with the A part of unit 4, that is dyes. And what the dyes, of course, it is a chemical substance which used to impart color to the fabric, like silk, wool, cotton, and other substances like paper or leather. And when it is get fixed to the fabric by means of formation of stable chemical bond between the oxochrome and the fabric, that is the acidic and basic groups of the fabric. So let me go ahead with the dyes. What is dye? It is a chemical substance, or you can say a colored substance. A colored substance which impart color to the fabric, which imparts color to the fabric like silk, wool, cotton. Okay, even paper and leather as well. What another way to define the dye is a colored substance. It apply on a fabric, give it a permanent color. Okay, so what this dye is actually is composed of, what why this dye imparts color to the fabric, and how it get fixed to the fabric. Why this dye imparts color to the fabric and how it get fixed to the fabric. It get fixed to the fabric by formation of stable chemical bond, and it imparts color to the fabric because of the presence of the chromophore. So now there are two necessary conditions for any colored substance to act as a dye. And what are those conditions? There must be presence of chromophore. First one is chromophore. कोई भी सब्सटेंस को एज ए डाई एक्ट करने के लिए टू नेसेसरी कंडीशंस होने ज़रूरी है. उस कलर्ड सब्सटेंस में और उस केमिकल सब्सटेंस में क्रोमोफोर होना ज़रूरी है. और द सेकंड वन इज प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सोक्रोम. प्रेजेंस ऑफ ऑक्सोक्रोम. अगर कोई कलर सब्सटेंस में, केमिकल सब्सटेंस में क्रोमोफोर या ऑक्सोक्रोम हो तो दैट सब्सटेंस may act as a dye, isn't it? Now let me see what is a chromophore. Chromophore, these are the unsaturated group which are responsible for producing color to a dye. Unsaturated group means a group contain double bond which produces color to the fabric, which is responsible for producing color to fabric. For example, you can have here N double bond O. This is N double bond O, unsaturated group or not? N double bond N, C double bond O, C double bond S, C triple bond N, etc. So these are the unsaturated group which imparts color to the fabric. Okay, this is, you know, act as a chromophore. So dye must contain chromophore which imparts color to the fabric. Now what is oxochrome? The dye must contain some acidic and basic groups which known as oxochrome. These are the acidic or basic groups in a dye which is called as oxochromes. For example, alcoholic OH, which is weakly acidic in nature, carboxylic acidic group, or sulfonic acidic group. These are the acidic groups act as a oxochrome. Or some primary amine, secondary amine, or tertiary amine, etc. These are the basic groups act as a oxochrome. So there must be, you know, some acidic and basic groups contained in a colored substance which forms a stable chemical bond. This oxochrome forms a stable chemical bond with the fabric and get fixed to the fabric. So how the colored impart to the fabric? There must contain chromophore and oxochrome. Chromophore produces color to the fabric and it is get fixed by the, you know, stable chemical bond formation by the oxochrome. So for any colored substance to act as a dye, there must contain chromophore and oxochrome. Chromophore means an unsaturated group which produces color to the fabric, like this. These are the example of the chromophore. And oxochrome are the acidic and basic groups which forms a stable chemical bond with the fabric and get fixed to the fabric, like, you know, the OH, COOH, SO3H acidic groups, and primary, secondary, and tertiary amine group. These are the basic groups. These are the what? All are oxochromes. So from this you can now define the dye in a very simple way. How can we define the dye? You know, the dye is a colored substance which is formed by the combination of chromophore and oxochrome. You know, it is a chemical substance which is formed by the combination of a chemical substance formed by combination of chromophore and oxochrome, and therefore it chromophore, as it gives color or imparts color to the fabric, and it get fixed by using oxochrome, right? For example, you can take a methyl orange. Methyl orange, you all know this is a orange color, a dye which act as a indicator in acid base titration, or in volumetric analysis we use this as a indicator to indicate the completion of reaction, isn't it? So now let me take an example of methyl orange. Methyl orange dye. So here you can look at this dye. It contains a chromophore. What is a chromophore here? It is an unsaturated group which produces color to the fabric. So unsaturated group means N double bond N is, you know, here it is chromophore. Chromophore, it is azo group. It is azo group. Azo group which imparts orange color to the fabric. Which imparts orange color to the fabric, you know. So this N double bond N is unsaturated group. It is chromophore, which is called as azo group. Azo group, N double bond N is azo group which imparts orange color to the fabric, isn't it? Now it has oxochrome as well. Oxochrome means some acidic or basic group. This is what? The basic group, and this is acidic group. You know, this is secondary amine and this is sulfonic acid. Both this are the oxochrome, and it forms a bond, stable chemical bond, and fixed get fixed to the fabric. So this is what the simple composition and fixation of dye on a fabric, isn't it? So you do keep in mind that the dyes is a colored substance which imparts color to the fabric, and which imparts color to the fabric by using chromophore, and which get fixed to the fabric by using oxochrome. So the colored substance which impart color to the fabric by means of formation of stable chemical bond is called dye. I repeat, a colored substance which imparts color to the fabric by formation of stable chemical bond called dye. And this dye can be classified on the basis of the two things. The dyes can be classified broadly on the basis of the structure of the dye, and the second one is on the basis of mode of application of dye.